the day to do that song, because when you're standing in front of 2,000 people, 10,000 people, you don't have a second chance. I've learned a lot from Stevie Ray Vaughan and Buddy Holly, and for people that don't know, these people died after having performances, and what I've learned is that if you don't give it 100% every time, you may not have that opportunity again. So as I look back on that song, and something that Henry said to me after was, the part of that song that stood out the most was, yeah. And Henry said to me after, he says, you had me at the beginning of the song.
Damn, I wish I could hear that right now.
You just did.
That's hot. That is hot, because some songs are so legendary that they can just be intimidating based on their history, and you want to do it right. You have respect for the original people, but then again, you want to have your own, signature.
Yeah, but you know, Mario, when it comes to that, my interpretation of Jeffrey, my interpretation of L.T.D, my interpretation of Stevie Wonder, Luther, whomever, is just that, an interpretation, because I, in my heart and in my soul and body, may think that I am them, but you're going to look at me and go, yeah, okay, yeah, that's not Luther, that's not them, that's not that person. That is you, and I am L.T.D. I am Luther. I am Al Green. I am Frank Sinatra. I am a lot of people. The fabric of what I listen to is when I drive down the street, when I hear a horn blow, it's music to me. Everything. My parents were music to me. My teachers were music to me. Life, my car is music to me. So I took all of these things and put them in files and try to envision, when I listen to the lyric, what does that mean to me, and still be true to L.T.D. It's a lifelong journey of interpretations, because that's all life is interpretations.
Well, now we get an understanding of why the old school artists so often bring so much more to projects. It's that integrity, that emphasis, on art and craft.
Absolutely.
How are you adjusting, all of you, to today's iTunes world? With the world of downloads. In the old days, we had the albums and the album covers. Most of the kids today buying downloads, not a CD. So it's a lot of new changes for those of us who've been around. How are you guys feeling about today's new technology and the advances? Any of you?
Well, I feel like it's just something we have to adapt to, because the bottom line is you still have to make the music. You still have to make the product.
Right.
And if it doesn't feel good, it's not going to sell. And on that note, if you could capture, the thing to me is about capturing the magic at that recording session or whatever you're doing. You got to get the magic. It's something that is tangible. And you think about Jackie Wilson. Workout. That song will forever just jam. It rocks. It swings. They captured the magic. However they did it, back with those two tracks.
Right.
They got the band at the right moment, and it's there historically. You'll be able to listen to that and say, man, they were really doing it. But that's what you have to have. And even though we have a lot of technological advances, sampling, and virtual studios inside a computer, but you still have to play the instrument.
Right.
You need a certain artistic sensibility, and you need a certain musicality to use the new instruments to play music, I guess, the old-fashioned way, but with a new twist. It still takes. You still have to make the magic.
So you
And
gotta
it can
get
be
to it.
done.
Yeah,
You can do it.
but on the same note, have we or have they, the new generation, the iTunes generation, what I call it? I like the expeditious part of being able to. I was at a car show, and I heard, "I hear you knocking," and I went, "Oh my goodness, I love that."
Howard saw that.
I had it instantly. I love that part of it, but then when you talk about the having the integrity, having that visceral part of what it took us years to be able to do, to be able to stand up, to be able to perform, to be able to give that. Does that exist today? In some cases, it does, but I think in the part of being dumbed down is that you get the disposable income of the kids that walk in, and a record or a CD is being sold for $6 or $7, and Clive Davis is putting millions and millions of records out there, and then the media can turn around and say that, hey, you know, this
Right.
artist sold 20 million records the first 3 days, and then, you know, we're in a society that is fast food mentality. Okay, so when you put that together with disposable income and being dumbed down, do they really know when they come to a show that this particular band is totally sampled or whatever? Do they really care? Are we the only people that care about that at this point in time?
That's interesting.
So when you put all of these different elements together, the expedience of being able to get something instantly, going to a concert, paying $30, $40, and they don't care, they're drinking or they got a buzz or drinking cough medicine, whatever it is that they do now to get their deal going, does it really matter? Are we the last of the dinosaurs? So I don't know. Adaptability, yeah, you can get it right now. You can go to the concert, see what you see, but then when you come and see what it is we do, then you get a different flavor. And I mean, I had a guy tell me, we were talking about an icon, and I won't mention a name. He says, "Oh, he's done and he's over." And it's like, really? So who's the man? And he mentioned somebody new, and I said, really? I tell you what, let's go down to the country bar there on the corner, and let's just spout it out. If you're a singer, if you're a singer, this man, the fear, tells me the story about being in New Orleans, that it wasn't just this one genre that you were doing. If you were a drummer or bass player, guitar player, you were playing Dixieland. I'll let him tell you the story, because I was sitting there amazed, because I did a show when I was. No. It's important. I think I was 13, 14 years old, and we had a group called the Jackson 3. And there was a kid in the group that had to be 6'4", 6'5", heavy duty, but he had the falsetto of Eddie Kendricks.
Oh yeah, back then you had
Yes.
a good
And
falsetto.
we got on the stage to sing "I Want You Back," and he froze. Literally, you know, he stopped. So, you know, we went on and did the song. He just standing there. We're dancing around him like he was a mic stand. You know, so the you know, people clapped and everything or whatever. We went off stage, and the show was pretty long or whatever. So I went and re-entered myself into the show, because I had on my little suit and everything. And I came back and sung Moon River and won the show.
Wow, Moon River.
Yeah, so to me, for what he does, what Tafir told me about what you had to be able to do, the diversity of that, does it exist today? I mean, because we all know brilliant kids with, you know, that can do and play everything, but do you really, do you truly? Because if it's about singing, if you want to sing, it's, well, I'm not in a group or whatever, but do you really want to sing? Tell me you want to sing for a Bentley. Tell me you want to sing for a girl, or you want to sing for some gold teeth. But when people come to me for vocal lessons or whatever, I'm going to charge you a ton of money to get the riffraff out the door to start with.
Right.
And then I'm going to tell you, so, well, sing me whatever it is you're going to sing me, but tell me why you singing. I don't sing for my mom. I don't sing for my dad. I don't sing for my kids. I sing for me. Me. Now, an audience is collateral damage to me. You know what I mean?
Go on, Howard.
Yeah, you know, because if I do a show, I'm not actually singing for the first 15 people in the row, because I can sing anything. I can sing Mary Had a Little Lamb, and how was there? That's my boy. I'm singing for the guy that walked in with his girl, that's sitting there texting, and he looking to the left and looking to the right to see who looking at her, and he texting, and she's just having a good time. That's who I sing for. I want to get him.
Get his attention.
I want to get his attention. I want to get the one that ain't really paying attention. The first time I sang at a club called L.T.D Green in Miami.
Huh.
John Edwards was the man back then that ended up being the lead singer for the Spinners, right? John had done a show, and I was in this little group or whatever, and I was just, hey, well, you know, I'm going to sing, and back in them days, you could bring your own, you know, stuff.
That's right.
Yeah, and all the place would sell is like Coke.
Set up.
Right? Yeah, exactly. Right?
You bring your own booze.
So that, you know, I go up and, you know, I'm singing with the band and ain't nobody paying attention. And I was going, wait a minute. I worked too hard. I listened to too many records. I done spent too many $4.95 for these new records to come out for you to not listen to me. I jumped up on somebody's table and kicked the stuff off and broke the band down and just started singing Al Green a cappella. It's like, y'all don't pay attention to me. Next thing you know, I was working with John Edwards or whatever, but I don't see that kind of thing, and I'm not taking anything away from the young guys, you know, of today. But if it's not there,
well, and that's true. You know, I like to think that it's merely a matter of exposure. Though we get the right young folks with the right old folks, there's still that new talent being born every day. Just need to be developed. Got to pay more of their dues. You know, like we say, spend your time and study, delayed gratification, not the quick fix. Mm-hmm. Study your art. You know, it's like you don't see a lot of young folks coming up playing jazz. Just recently, we were exposed to some newcomers that are supposed to be hot, though. But for so long, it seemed like you weren't really finding young folks coming up playing jazz or being
fast
exposed.
Food mentality. It's like toilet paper. Really, it's like toilet paper. I mean, and no disrespect to this new kid, Justin Bieber.
Right.
But he is bigger than sliced cheese.
That's right.
So how can you say, you know, and who's his mentor? I think Usher is his guy. But it's about the money. It's about the quickness of how it's done. But, you know, I'll go back to what I said before. Let's run down to the country bar.
Right.
And, you know, the blue-collar guy that's sitting there that's drinking his whatever it is he's drinking, entertain him.
Right.
And then let's run over here to Palm Springs.
Right.
And, you know, if you're a singer.
Right.
You know, you look at somebody like Oba Babatunde, you know, a Broadway or whatever. Oba just showed me so many different things, so many different ways. When you look at who his mentor was, Sammy Davis Jr., those guys were entertaining.
Oh, definitely. I was lucky enough to go out and see that real music. Sammy smoking on stage. Mm-hmm. Sammy sang with a cigarette in his hand and would blow. Henry, you're the curator, I guess, the person who carries out, who's the protector of the legacy of L.T.D. So you're kind of dealing with representing that today and dealing with so many things that Howard mentioned. Your attitude seems to be remarkably up, you know, as you approach that. But obviously these are challenges with today's world and you bringing forth this old school legacy music. How do you see yourself fitting in with that? And you enjoying the challenge?
I'm enjoying the challenge. I don't even think of it as a challenge, really. It's just we're doing what we do. We're doing what we do.
Yeah.
And we take what's around, what's available to us to help us do that thing. But we all come from the same place.